when they're young, when they're hot, and they get all this attention, they think that this attention is on them, that they themselves have these intrinsic qualities. They don't understand that it's not them, it's the fact that they're hot and young and fertile. But it's not them. Nobody cares about them. I'm cruising the internet and I come across this young woman named Emily Hart, and I got fascinated by her.
I think me doing this topic is equivalent to, you see my foot here? My hand's a gun. So well, let's begin then. So out of all the questions and comments that I have on my videos, this is probably the top one. Why are you single? So I thought it best I tackle this subject in a video, because I'll be honest, I'm sick of saying the same reply to every single one of them. And no, it's not because I'm a lesbian. Although I did actually develop feelings for a girl that had a girlfriend a few years ago. But you guys don't want to hear about that, do you? You do? Tough. So I think from the age of about 17, I was always the sister that had all the boyfriends. There was Barney, who was like the stud of my senior school, and for some reason he woke up one day and decided that he fancied me. Then there was Greg, the Australian, who, well, cheated on me.
I don't know this woman. She's from what I can gather, a 32-year-old woman, about to turn 33, I think, or just turned 32, doesn't matter. She is clearly a very attractive young woman. She's tall, she used to be a former model, she wants to be a television presenter, but the fact that she's 32 and not a television presenter at this time means it's not going to happen. You know, this is how it is insofar as showbiz is concerned. You know, you have a window of opportunity, and if you make it, you make it, and if you didn't, it's just not going to happen. You know, you don't have a thing that you're like floating around for years and years, and all of a sudden, finally, you get your lucky break. It doesn't work that way. You know, guys like Bryan Cranston, for instance, people who are like overnight sensations, they put in 30 years of working, yeah, and they were steadily growing. Yeah, but this poor young woman, she's not doing any TV show. She's not on the ladder, as it were. It's not going to happen for her. Now, she has on her YouTube channel a lot of stuff about advice. You know, advice. I feel horrible putting her down. But then again, I'm not putting her down. I'm just giving an analysis of who she is. Because I look at this poor young woman, and I can see who she is. She's a young woman who, she missed the boat. It's not that complicated. She missed the boat, the poor thing, you know. She's, you know, as you can see, she's a beautiful young woman, yeah. But she missed her moment, yeah. And from what I understand from her YouTube posts, apparently she had some sort of breakdown, poor thing. Now, from my experience, I can tell you what that breakdown was. You know, all of a sudden, her body and her hindbrain, an unconscious part that she doesn't want to face, realized that not only had she missed her window insofar as her career as a presenter is concerned, it had missed its window insofar as having a family is concerned, of finding the right guy, or what she imagined or expected to be the right guy. Because, you know, what happens to young women, and they don't seem to get this, and somebody has to educate them on this issue, is that, see, women are at their peak attractiveness between the ages of 18 and 22, 24 on the outside, and then it's a slow decay. You know, they get more, they earn more gravitas because they have more experience, but they're simply not as sexually attractive as they used to be. And the reality of, and this is biology, it's not a social thing, it's just simple biology, but the attractiveness and importance of a young woman depends on her ability to reproduce. You know, when a young man is killed in a war, oh, it's a tragedy. When a young woman is killed in the same war, it's like a national day of mourning or something like that, because a young woman can reproduce, you know, and that old saying, you know, eggs are dear and sperm are cheap. Well, you know, and see, she was sitting on a pot of gold, as it were, this what's her name? Emily Hart. Emily Hart, is it? Yeah, Emily Hart. She was sitting on a pot of gold for years, and she mismanaged her, she mismanaged her assets. It's as simple as that. She mismanaged her assets, and now she's 32. The wall is fast approaching. The wall whereby her opportunity to reproduce is going to be severely curtailed by biology, because as everybody knows, after the age of 35, a woman's ability to conceive falls off drastically. And after the age of 42, it is over. Unless extreme heroic medical efforts are taken, a woman is simply not going to conceive after the age of 42. After the age of 35, statistically, it's something like 60 or 70% less likely for her to conceive than before the age of 35. 32, she's the wall. I mean, she's like driving a Ferrari at 100 miles an hour, and the wall is, 200 meters away. She's going to crash unless she hits the brakes, as it were, which means finds a man. Because she wants that. She wants that, the poor thing. You can tell. You can tell by her content that she puts up, You can tell by... You can just tell, but by the same token, any man, I know a lot of girls like this, 30-somethings, sorry for hopscotching around on this theme, I just feel sad for this girl, because it's not this girl, I don't know her, but it's sort of like this kind of girl whom I have met before countless times. They partied, they had fun, they were very, very attractive when they were young, and they took full advantage of it in a very carefree way. And they didn't realize what they had. And the years passed, and they hit 30, and they still thought that they were 22. And then all of a sudden, they had some sort of breakdown, because lots of girls like this, tall, skinny, pretty models who party a lot, drink a lot, they all of a sudden have like some sort of like breakdown. Yeah. The ones who get married and have kids don't have this. The same kind of girl, tall, skinny, pretty, sort of intense, sort of high strung. Yeah. Well, they have a couple of kids chilled them right the fuck out, And of course, feminists don't want to hear this. Feminists, would skin me alive if they heard me say this shit. But it's true, see? I mean, come on. A young woman who has a couple of kids, a young woman, say she's 25. Yeah, she has a kid at 25, another kid at 27, right? She is going to chill out. Whatever high-strung energy she used to have, it's going to be absorbed by the kids. And here's the thing. See, I don't know the details of it, but from what I understand, a lot of medical science is backing up the fact that having children, being pregnant, releases hormones, which is obvious, one would think. The physical and psychiatric, not to mention psychological impact of having children, or psychotropic effect of having children, inevitably will chill women out, And the fact that that they're not fulfilling their biological prime directive, as it were, it makes them crazy, And everybody knows the story of the old shrew that, went insane because, baby rabies, right? Now this poor Emily Hart person, you can read her a mile away. And a guy like me, I'm 49, fairly successful. I know lots of girls like this. And I want nothing to do with them, The only guys who are going to go for a girl like this are losers, quite frankly. They're going to be douchey guys who talk a big game but don't have any money, who don't have anything. They've got nothing. Or else nice, boring betas, right? And a few of them who are probably going to be virgins. And this poor girl, this Emily Hart, and girls like her, they're going to look at these guys. They're smart enough and they've been around the block enough times that they can spot the douchey guys, and they want nothing to do with the douchey guys. On the other hand, they look at the betas, and the betas are good providers and are going to do everything to make them happy. They will kill to make her happy. But, they're not exciting enough for her. And yet, they're her only shot. And a girl like this, she's going to look at older guys who are like 40, 45, 50. Yeah? such as myself, you know, somebody who's got his shit more or less organized, you know, somebody who, you know, she can take wherever, who's going to dress nice and all the rest of it, you know, somebody who can handle her. I want nothing to do with her because she's a walking disaster. You know, girls like this are walking disasters, you know. You know, they had some sort of psychological breakdown. Fucking red flag? I mean, it's like a bloody rag thrown up in the air, okay? Forget about a red flag. And then, you know, she looks hard. There's no other way to put it. She looks like she's been around. Like she's been living hard life, you know? And, you know, I'm not accustomed to buying used cars. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not very interested in having a used up girlfriend either, you know? So a girl like this, you know, who's she gonna wind up with? Some douchebag? Or some beta loser that she's gonna despise, yeah? She's gonna have a miserable life because she didn't understand what she had going for her. She didn't understand the source of her attractiveness. People thought it was her. That's the thing. Young women like this Emily Hart person, when they're young, when they're hot, and they get all this attention, they think that this attention is on them, that they themselves have these intrinsic qualities. They don't understand that it's not them, it's the fact that they're hot and young and fertile. But it's not them. Nobody cares about them. This woman here, Emily Hart, poor girl. Poor girl. She's used up. You know, she's got that hard look to her. She's got that thousand cock stare, which is, it's really a kind of deplorable and disgusting phrase, but it is so apt. That's the horrible thing to say. You look at her and you see that, you know, and now she's starting to say that, you know, you shouldn't have children. Okay? Even before in all her videos she said that, oh, she wants to have a boyfriend and get married and have kids and a family and all the rest of it. Now all of a sudden she has 10 reasons why you shouldn't have children. Now what does that tell you? This poor girl is psychologically preparing herself for spinsterhood, because that's what's going to happen, okay, unless she settles, and she's unwilling to settle, and so she's in this impasse. Now I feel sorry for girls like her. And this one specifically, I don't know the woman. And she seems from her videos like a charming girl. Any guy would be happy to date her. I would never date her, yeah? Because she's used up, you know? She's a used car on a grimy, dirty, dusty lot, yeah? It doesn't matter how gaudily painted, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, what it has. It has the latest radio, satellite radio, and what have you. It's a used up car. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get in it. Yeah? That's the reality of the situation. And now this person, this young woman has to wise up. And more importantly, young women, you have to realize your window of opportunity is narrow, you know, and people aren't attracted to you. They're not attracted to you. It's just you are biologically the most attractive you will ever be. And a lot of the attention you get is because of your sexual attractiveness, which is, of course, based on your ability to have kids, to procreate. That's the reality of it. And it's a hard and frankly kind of, not disgusting, it seems, I can't think of a negative adjective at this time to describe the reality that it is for young women. Nobody gives a shit about you. They give a shit about your ability to procreate. Even though they don't articulate it or verbalize it that way, but that's the reality of it. See? And once that is gone, like is happening to this Emily Hart young woman and other young women like her, you know, that's it. It's over for you. It's spinsterhood and being miserable and neurotic. Yeah? It's, you know, 40 years of misery ahead of you. So if you're smart, and I'm speaking to young women who might be watching this, I doubt if anybody will, but if you're smart and get your shit together, lock down a man, have your babies soon, because you don't want to wind up like this Emily Hart person. You think you want a career? Oh God. You don't want a career. A career is a waste of your time. It's a capitalist construct made to rob you of your youth and your energy. Okay, be smart. Look around you. Look at career girls in their 30s. Look at career women in their 40s. Those career women who've got this great career and nobody in their lives, and they're taking Xanax like Tic Tacs, and they have no children, and they talk about their cats as if they were children, and they have nobody. Okay? Don't be that girl. Don't be that woman. You know, I'm telling you, for your own good, don't be that woman, because you'll have nothing but regrets. Like this poor Emily Hart girl. Poor thing.